Morning, folks. Welcome back to the farm. Actually, a pretty lovely Sunday morning here this morning. Yesterday we're having farming on ice. It was a little bit of a... I felt like Kurt Browning with a pitchfork, minus the leotard. But, if you thought yesterday was bad, today's even worse, actually, because we got a little bit of snow. Not enough to really stick to the ice and then create any traction. It was just like a light dusting, like you're putting a little bit of icing sugar on top of a sponge cake or something like that. So underneath that little bit of skiff there, it is just treacherous. So I got the boot cleats on today. We're going to get the big tractor out again, and we are going to scratch the ever living daylights out of the whole yard here with the teeth on the grapple. The bottom teeth, not the top teeth. That would be bad if we use the top teeth. Anyway, scratch it all up so I can get around here a little bit. And then today technically is Second Chance Sunday. So what am I going to do? I'm going to pick up some ratchet straps. I'm going to pick up some snow shovels. I might move that molasses tote there that's got that little bit of molasses left in it that I can't get out of the bottom. See if maybe if a guy can tip that over and transfer it into another tote with a working valve, that would be pretty fantastic too. That might be a bit of a stretch, but we'll see what we're going to get done this morning. The girls, they're all off in Hythe. They went off to watch my nieces play hockey, so they can have a girls' afternoon out, and I'll putz around the yard here. I got the yard all scratched up here, and I come over to the dump trailer and pick the front of it up with the bucket of the tractor here, set a block underneath of it so we can get it. It seems you park it there in the summertime, and then you get all this snow, and then you're trying to back up to it, and you just can't get the jack high enough. So I had to put a 6-inch block underneath of it so we can actually get hooked on the hitch. I think I'm going to go move that stock trailer too, and I'll park it over here, get it out of the way so we can get to the molasses tank. I was up over here by the driveway, by the gate, and hopped out of the tractor for a second there, and I thought for sure I could smell burning electrical, and like hopping out of the tractor, smelling burning electrical, never going to be a good day. I forgot, actually I lit the burning barrel like 15 minutes earlier, so it actually wasn't nearly as terrible as I thought it was. It wasn't terrible at all, thankfully. That could have gone many different directions. I did have a bit of a wake-up call there yesterday. Yesterday evening we were in town and run through Canadian Tire, and we're looking for a roof rack for the wife's vehicle, which was expensive enough. But anyways, I got looking, because the roof racks are right beside the oil aisle, and I was looking for some 2-stroke oil for the Skidoo, and a 5-gallon jug was, or not a 5-gallon jug, a 1-gallon jug, 5-liter jug was $74 for 2-stroke snowmobile oil. And I just like, woo-wee, that thing is not gonna run that much for that price. Wow. I'm just about to go in and feed the chickens here. This is what we got from Loop this week. We got some mixed colored peppers, red, green, yellow, orange, some carrots, some radishes, a little bit of bread, some celery, and then we got some yogurts in there as well. So that'll help with the egg production, that'll help with the beta carotenes, and that will help most certainly with cutting down on the feed bill. There was some onions in there too, but of course chickens won't like onions, and onions don't compost very well. If you put them in there and the compost pile is hot, they'll break down for sure, but they kind of like whatever is in an onion actually kills off lots of the bacteria that's inside of a compost pile, so not really actually very favorable to have it in there. So I just toss them over the fence, and they can just rot in behind the chicken coop. That's just fine too. So I'm pretty excited. I'm just out here filling up a water jug so I can have some spare water over in the chicken house while I disappear away on business for a couple days here this week. Just try to help out with the wife, minimize any chores she's got to do. But this outside tap here, forever and a day, it would always freeze. I had a 8-inch, what do you call that, hose bib, 8-inch hose bib. So it went just through the wall, and I had a heat trace and everything, but it would always freeze. So what I ended up doing is replacing it with a 10-inch one, so just 2 more inches inside the wall. So like inside the building where the actual valve stopper is. And here we are, it's cold, it's winter time. The other thing I changed too, instead of a whole, like, you know, you got to go 8 turns to actually open it, it's just quarter turn, on or off, and made a heck of a difference. And so that thing has worked all winter long so far. So I'm gonna call that one an absolute win. Yeah, so I'm just gonna leave a jug of water in the porch here inside the chicken house. I'm not concerned that it's gonna freeze or anything in here because we've been composting on the floor all winter long. And when we had that spell where it was minus 30, you'd open up this door and it was quite warm inside the chicken house. So pretty happy, well insulated, draft free, and generating some heat without any, you know, energy usage. It's basically like zero carbon footprint, carbon neutral eggs, if that's a thing. Maybe that's how I could advertise. Free range, organic, fun loving, carbon neutral eggs. That could be a thing, right? Anyway, speaking of carbon, I brought in the wood shavings into the shop here. As you can see, it's just, I had it sitting outside. It got snowed in. I brought it here. It can sit up underneath the fan, dry off a little bit. I'm gonna have to add some wood chips, some wood shavings to the chicken house here soon, because although I am making a lot of heat with that compost, my moisture levels are getting a little bit high. You start to notice that right about here. So if I want Mama Bear to do some chores, it better not be stinky in the chicken house. No matter how warm it is, if it's stinky in there, she's gonna be so I can't have that. I can't have the hired help puking outside the chicken house. That's just not gonna fly.